Yeah, it might be. Welcome to KCETB information session for QQI Level 5 Care of the Older Person. This information session is about to give you some information on the module called Care of the Older Person. So it's QQI Level 5 Care of the Older Person. This specific module is one of 8 modules which is completed as part of a healthcare award for the role of healthcare assistant or healthcare support worker. So Care of the Older Person is a comprehensive programme that equips the learner with the knowledge, skills and competency to provide holistic, person-centred care for older adults across various settings, addressing their physical, emotional and social needs while promoting dignity, independence and quality of life. When I talk about different settings, different care settings, I'm talking about care for the older person in their own homes, which is becoming very much part of the healthcare that we deliver nowadays. Many older people want to remain in their own homes, and while they might be ill or somewhat dependent, they will remain in their own homes with support from a healthcare support worker. Also, when an older person can no longer live at home, many of them might choose to have care delivered in a nursing home setting. And in that care setting, then the people who will support them and deliver care will be healthcare support workers and healthcare assistants. And then sometimes an older person may have an acute episode of illness where they're admitted to an acute hospital setting. Again, healthcare assistants work in those care settings caring for older person. Healthcare assistants also work in day services and other care settings where they provide care again for older people. So again, a very important part of this role then is, that their ability to be able to work effectively with that older person and that older person's family and significant others as well. So, who would this course suit? So the course would suit anybody who is interested in a career in healthcare, or sometimes there are people who actually do this course who might be changing careers, might have had a career in another area of life previously, but for whatever reason they wish to change careers and they have an interest in healthcare. They may have experienced delivering care in respect of a family member and now have an interest in training as a healthcare support worker, as a healthcare assistant. It's also suitable for and a requirement for somebody who's already started work, and many people start work with healthcare providers like home care companies and nursing home settings, and then are required to complete their training once they have actually commenced work as a healthcare support worker. So this course is very suitable for that person as well. Okay, so the course qualifications then will be for this particular module, you will qualify at QQI Level 5 Care of the Older Person. Now, that is a minor award, it's a standalone award as a minor award. But 8 of those specific modules, including care of the older person, care skills, care support, work practice, which is just a number of them, leads to a major award. But there are 8 certificates required to qualify, to get your qualification as a major award. It is the standard qualification that's required of a healthcare support worker or a healthcare assistant. But this specific module is one of those. The duration is 11 weeks on a Thursday evening, and the person must attend those for those 11 weeks, but they also must attend 2 days in person in the classroom. So we call this course a blended delivery type of course because the majority of the course is delivered online. However, there is a requirement for the person who's training to deliver to be present in a setting, a classroom setting, for 2 days to demonstrate their skills in that setting. So on a Thursday evening, the course starts at 5 o'clock for 4 hours from 5 to 9. So there is quite a requirement in terms of commitment for this course. The training location, as I said, is online. It's blended because of that online 2 days has to be completed in person in a classroom setting. Okay, so the content. It's a comprehensive program. It covers a wide range of topics essential for providing high quality care to older adults, including the aging process. So part of the program is to understand the aging process, and all this. So we look at that in terms of all the different stages of life and that last stage of life, which is part of the aging process. Holistic care approaches. So how do we approach the care that we're delivering in terms of it being centered on the person that we're caring for? Our role as a healthcare support worker, what is that? What does that include? What's required of you in respect of that? Then, the management in terms of not just the physical care of the person, but the psychological care of the person as well. End of life care, which is care that somebody would receive while they might be at that sort of palliative stage of life, which would be the end stage of life, death and dying. Promoting independence and dignity, and the importance of that in respect of empowering the person, in understanding that person's self-worth, they're in promoting their independence, demonstrating respect and confidentiality in terms of the care that's delivered to them. Okay, so overall it equips the learner with the knowledge and competencies to address the diverse needs of the older individual while fostering family involvement, and that's very important because for many older people they will have the input in addition to the support that's given to them in respect of a healthcare assistant or healthcare support worker. They will have input from their families as well. So the healthcare assistant, healthcare worker needs to be able to engage and understand how to communicate with family as well. And again, there are many, it's not all older people are ill and dependent. We do consider health promotion very much as part of the older person's life as well. So in part of the program is looking at health promotion strategies for the older person too. So the assessment, so any course that's completed has to be assessed, so to determine if the learner has actually acquired the competencies in respect of the learning outcomes. So how is this particular program assessed? There's project work, which are broken down into two assignment pieces of work. This is written work, where you will have to look at additional reading and research, and complete a written project in respect of that. And also then there will be a skills demonstration. This is the piece of work that you will have to complete in a classroom setting, where you've got to be in attendance for 2 days. And this at the moment is in the Carlow-Kilkenny area, usually in Carlow, at Carlow Education and Training ETB site. So what's important about skills demonstration is that it showcases your understanding and practical application of your skills in terms of your approach to caring for an individual. Usually, demonstrating end-of-life care and communication with family, empowerment, advocacy, and best practice in respect of your skills. Now, both pieces of work must be completed. There is no such thing as being able to just complete your project work and not your skills demonstration. Overall, in terms of the assessment process, both the project work, which is the written assignments, and the skills demonstration must be completed in order for you to actually get your award. Okay, so what do you need in order to complete the course? You need a laptop, good internet connection, and this is really important because you're online and you're engaging. You're actually in a classroom setting, albeit you're online from your own home, but you're in a classroom setting, and there's quite a significant amount of engagement required in respect of that setting. So a good internet connection is required of you. That laptop must have a working camera because the camera must be on at all times. And the reason it's got to be on at all times is, again, you're engaging in a classroom setting. So, there will be PowerPoint presentation delivery, there will be engagement in respect of work, feedback, work that you're self-directed learning, and feedback on that, and specific topics, which will be discussed, and situations which arise will be discussed in class. So that is a requirement of the actual delivery as well. Now, full attendance. So each evening from 5 to 9, you are required to be in attendance. And that is a significant requirement in respect of your being able to be in full attendance for the course. And so before you start the course, you've got to understand the commitment that's required of you and determine if you can be in full attendance for those periods of times each week. That is very important. To complete the course, log on to the FEC courses website and apply, and the link is actually here. So this is the link. So when you actually go into that link, you can apply to the link, and the ETB will actually then come back to you in respect of the course, the dates available, and your registration. Thank you for your interest in this course.